to the discussion. Okay, let me recap first. We have heard about when did particularly these three countries, Japan, India and China, reform when they actually started to expand in their economy and the factors lead to it. And now we're going to look at the implications of their current economic situation. So Ms. Amina, can you share with us what are the implications of economy in China towards the world and towards the society itself?
Thank you, Ms. Hani. Actually, the implication of China have both positive and negative side towards the world and society.
Okay.
As BBC has conducted a polling about Chinese influence to the world, they think that China has mainly positive influence towards them.
Okay, we can see that most of the countries believe that China has positive impacts towards them. Okay, that's good.
Okay, next, the positive impact to the world is China is one of the world's fastest economic growing. And then in 2008, China was reported as the world's second largest merchandise exporter and third largest importer. And for US consumers, exporters and investors have generally benefited from China's rapid economic and trade growth. As you can see in the table, it shows that since 2005, there is an increasing amount of the trade balance of China.
So I guess it was a very dramatic increase, because from 32 to 100 something.
Yes.
Wow, that's so huge.
2008 also until 297 billion. Okay. And positive impacts to China's society, it started when there's a decreasing in state-owned enterprise that indirectly increased the amount of capital in China, and it boosts modernization among Chinese and affecting the unemployment rate, which from 2002 is 7.5 million, and in 2010 is 0.58 million. It reduced by 92% within only 8 years.
Wow, ladies and gentlemen, let's see, 92% is almost 100%, isn't it? Huge decrease.
Okay, and then the next thing is, after the unemployment was reduced, there's also expansion in education, and it affects the increasing of standard of living people in China. So, but then there's also a negative impact, which is the uneven economic growth in between rural and urban areas in China, an inflexibility currency policy, the lack of the rule of law, because there's a lack of rule in China because of communism, and the poor government regulatory environment that caused growing pollution. Okay, so the impact to China's society, when there's an increase in corruption, as said by the researchers, 59.2% of respondents think corruption among government officials hurts China's image the most. So with this corruption and lack of government policies, there's an increasing in social tension in rural and urban areas in China.
Okay, so talking about negativity, I remember one of the controversy in China about the tainted milk of China's producers. Do you remember that? It was so devastating, isn't it? Because it affects babies. So yes, there is positive and negative impacts. So okay, now let's move on to India. What are the positive and negative impacts of your economic development, Ms. Jazzy?
The rise of economy in India have actually bring positive impacts to information and communication technology, outsourcing, infrastructure sectors, and others. The growth of India information technology is primarily driven by IT software and services such as IT consulting and application management. The service sector has grown rapidly because there are increasing number of skilled workers, adequate telecommunication networks, improving policy and regulations.
Okay.
The next factor is outsourcing. As you all know that India is the top destination for outsourcing.
Oh, so can you give a few examples of industry that involve outsourcing?
One of the example is America. Yeah, this country actually outsource a lot in India.
Okay.
Why that India become the top destination for outsourcing? Because India offers competitive price, and at the same time it also offers higher value-added services. So as you can see from the table, the top outsourcing cities in the world are mostly from India. The next positive impact is infrastructure. Due to the growth of economy in India, it has led to improvement in infrastructure, which bring a lot of conveniences and benefits to the population. India has the largest road network in the world, and government has laid down numbers of plans for development of domestic road network.
Okay.
And India is the third largest network in the world. The tariff in India is the lowest in the world due to the technology innovations.
Wow.
Yes. So by 2012, Indian Railways expect to handle double the traffic, the amount of traffic it already handles now. And there are 22 stations that been built in cities and major tourist destinations. There are also other positive impacts, as you can see from the table. The share of India in world GDP had grown substantially from 2005 to 2007. And the next one is there was also strong rise in income per capita in the past 10 years. And India ranks the third place in the world.
Wow, that is great. After
Yes.
China and Russia, isn't it?
Yes, but however, the growth of economy in India also brings negative impact to India. The first one is inflation. The inflation occurs as the demand exceeds supply and imbalance in the global economy leads to the increase in the price of commodities. So India used to have double-digit inflation in early 90s, and today, double-digit, very serious. So today, inflation in India seems to cause by global factor rather than domestic factors. And the next one is income gap. The rural-urban areas of development remains unbalanced until now in India. Inequality of income distribution also leads to bigger income gap. So therefore, the rich man become richer and poor man become poorer. And the last one is child labor. The causes of child labor are driven by parents' attitude who are more money driven. Poverty, lack of proper education, and lack of protection from government. And now, as we all know that India is the top destination for outsourcing. So which means that more and more foreign companies expand their production to these rural areas, and they tend to hire child labor to cut costs. That's all.
Well, speaking about child labor, ladies and gentlemen, do you remember the past few weeks we have watched the video about child labor as young as 4-5 years old, breaking the laws, isn't it? Because when Miss Jansen taught, one of the causes is parents' attitude. Well, it's really unacceptable for me. What about you? Agree, okay. So, now let's get back to basic our topic, the rise of Asian economy. So, Ms. Hanani, what about Japan? What are the implications, the positive and negative impacts of the current economic situation in Japan?
Oh, thank you. We know that Japan is a developed country, and a lot of companies from Japan has expanded their international footprints all over the world, and this creating job opportunities for many people in the world. For example, Sony, Samsung, that is a well-known brand in the world. And another thing is Japan has improved a lot in their technology. They has a continuous improvement from time to time, and this benefited other countries as many countries nowadays use technology from Japan. Even technology that we never think of, Japan introduced the technologies. Well, this is the proof. Japan's technology advancement by education. For instance, villagers send students to Japan to gain knowledge in technologies, especially in engineering. And hopefully, when they come back to the country, they can contribute something beneficial to the country, especially in engineering. Of course. The next slide shows you the top 10 motor vehicle manufacturers in the world, with all the big box manufacturers from Japan. Okay. Toyota leads the rank, and then Honda, Nissan, and Suzuki.
Okay.
There are two types of vehicle that is manufactured by United States.
Okay.
So can you tell me?
Alright. Instead of asking me, I think better we ask the audience. Okay, audience, can you tell us the two manufacturers from United States? Who wants to answer? GM? GM stand for? Okay, General Motors, and the other one is? Volkswagen?
No.
Volkswagen, is that it?
No, Volkswagen from Germany.
Oh, Volkswagen from Germany. The other one? Ford.
Yes.
That's correct.
Well, just to clarify, Pigeon is from France, Kia is from South Korea, and Fiat is from France.
Oh.
Okay, now we move to the negative implications. What if the economy in Japan suffered depression? Of course, the supply chain across the globe will be affected, with numerous economies who face the disruptions, especially China. Since China is currently Japan's largest import provider, the Japanese slowdown will create tremendous pressure on China factories. In terms of developing economy in Japan, if the economy continues to develop, it will strengthen the currency. And when the yen is strengthened, the rise of Japanese currency will rise with Japan's price, and it will make the Japanese product more expensive.
Okay, that was so interesting.